Welcome to step 8, where we focus on some persuasive devices, very important tools that would be needed in your argumentative or persuasive writing piece, and definitely the key to what the examiner would be looking for in your piece. So let's jump in as we look at a few of them. Now, if you remember in our last video, we spoke about some forms of evidence. And those bits of evidence are also persuasive in nature. But we're going to go on to look at some others here under persuasive devices. So, what are persuasive devices? They are techniques used to convince the person to take or to understand the perspective or viewpoint of the person presenting the position. All right, here are some, and we're going to look at them in detail. Exaggeration. Now, people can exaggerate to bring a point home. And here we have an illustration of a nice clean sink where your mother is screaming, "How many times have I said don't leave my kitchen sink nasty?" And then when you look into the sink, there's just a speck, that's all. All right? That person is exaggerating. And sometimes we can use exaggeration as part of highlighting a particular position. We're going to see these things in action as we continue. All right, so exaggeration is the representing of something in an excessive manner. Exaggeration is used to emphasize something. It can also evoke very strong feelings. Here's an example. We have been experiencing this problem since Moses was a little boy. It is about time for a resolution. Of course, Moses was a little boy, it would have been a long time, but they are exaggerating. Okay? Then contrast, putting one thing against another. To contrast is to note the difference from one thing to another. This is very effective persuasive device since it can be used to illustrate the benefits of one argument over another. Here is an example. While online learning, you no longer have to get up early and queue in long lines at transportation hubs to get to school for conventional learning. Instead, you can sleep longer and leisurely get ready to sit with your device in the comfort of your home. So if you're working there, you're presenting two sides, one against the other. That's contrast in order. Then there is emotive language. And this is any language that can stir up your feelings from either sadness, happiness, joy, peace. And what a way to convince somebody when you get to the heart of their feelings. Okay, you're seeing illustrated here. Help a poor hungry baby boy get one meal a day, and there's this wonderful picture. All right, here's an example. Many of the elderly persons have been plagued with numerous boils about their bodies and a grating cough that has many of them unable to speak. Then there are those whose spines have been twisted into painful positions, making it difficult to walk, and are often found on the floor of their homes, sometimes days after they stumble. The plant must be closed down. So here the person is painting pictures in our mind that will stir up our emotions. Emotive language here. Another one really popular, and I had spoken to you all about using this even as a hook, is rhetorical questions. Here's this pretty picture where you see, why love one and eat another? And we have a pig and a dog next to it. Go vegan. Wonderful ad. So, a rhetorical question is a question not intended to be answered. It is asked to raise the issue and to cause the reader or the listener to think about the issue the question raises. It can also serve to stir up emotions that can help to persuade the reader/audience to consider or change their original position. This device is also popular in letters to the editor. Here's an example. How long will we turn a blind eye to the injustices against people of color? Then there is sarcasm, another tool that is used to persuade. All right? And this is a video clip here. I don't think we have audio, but we can see if we do. but let's just talk about it. Sarcasm refers to the use of words that means the opposite of what it is you really want to say, especially in order to insult or to show irritation or to just be plain funny. For example, saying they're really on the top of things to describe a group of people who are very disorganized, you're using sarcasm. Yeah, we must trust the SWAT team to bring in all the money they find. Now, this would have been made up in a time in Trinidad when we had members of a special elite force. A video was leaked of one of them stealing the money. And so it's really sarcastic to say that we can trust them to bring it in. Okay, so you use sarcasm. Then there's also personal appeal. And personal appeal is when the writer makes the appeal to the audience directly using personal pronouns like I and we to create a sense of emotional connection. This is really good in speeches. When you're making a speech, you want to appeal to the persons to see things from your perspective or to show them, I'm with you on this. Mr. Obama was very good at doing that. Again, we can't run the video, but know that this is a way that we can also persuade persons. Then we have analogy. An analogy here, we have sword is the warrior as pen is the writer. That's a comparison of one thing to the other, typically for the purpose of explanation or clarification. So here's an example. Doing research online and doing it at the library are both good. The library is like using the Eastern Main Road, and online is like using the priority bus route. So for those of you in Trinidad and Tobago, you would know the priority bus route is almost like a clear line from our rural to our city districts. Well, I don't know if I should say rural because Sandy Grande is not that rural. But it's a direct, it's almost like a no traffic all the way down, as opposed to the Eastern Main Road where there's a lot of traffic, a little slower. So both will get you to your destination, but one will get you there faster. All right? And that's an analogy that is being used. So you can come up with analogies to help to explain things better to your particular audience with the hope of persuading them to see things from your point of view. Then we have a pun, play with words. I am nuts for you. A joke exploiting the different possible meanings of a word or the fact that there are words which sound alike but have different meaning. And I have an example from a calypso here. Chambers don't see. Chambers saw what was happening, and some people felt he was done see, as in meaning he's a little stupid or a little slow. That was one of our previous prime ministers. Imperatives is another persuasive device that you can use. Imperatives, danger, slow down. Imperatives refer to a sentence that gives an instruction or a command. Let's change the situation now. Okay? They can be used without a subject, like stop this now, not another life. Take a step to the future now. Other devices that we can use to persuade. Repetition. I will not argue with idiots on YouTube. I will not argue with idiots on YouTube over and over again. Now, repetition. This is where a word, a phrase, or a sentence is repeated. This repetition gives emphasis to what is being repeated and is intended for the reader or listener to pay greater attention. Depending on what is being repeated, it can serve to stir up emotions. It is said that repetition is the law of retainance. And if you want to have a point constantly instilled, it's a style that you could also bring into your writing to be able to let a particular point resonate with your audience. So we have looked at some persuasive devices, and that's where we'll stop for today. Now you're going to try to take some of these and plug them into your persuasive or argumentative piece so that you can have a wonderful essay that will give you the total marks you're looking for at CSEC exam. That's it for now. This was a long one. Bye.